So it's it's a challenge to kind of find the voice of each play and find the world of each play and bring it to life as quickly and as completely as possible, and then try to kind of put everything together in an evening that's coherent. I mean, we didn't want this to be kind of, a one-act play festival. We wanted this to be an evening devoted to the study, to the ruminations upon the questions that we've been talking about. So it's that's a challenge too, but it's been a great deal of fun, and it's been fascinating to work on all of these pieces.
Did you learn anything new from their plays about identity, or did they present new questions?
Oh, there are questions every night that were in rehearsal from every play. Oh my God. I mean, and the thing that I love about my job is that I get to learn so much, not only about other people and all of that, but I get to learn so much about myself through, trying to interpret and kind of see these things through the prism of me. And I got to say that inheritance and genetics and all of that, I never really thought that much about before. I'm not terribly close to my family. I've never been terribly interested in where I came from. Big white guy, I came from Europe, I guess. But this has all started me on really kind of a fascination with what that is and where we come from and what determines what we do and all of that. So, and some of the pieces have hit me very, very personally too. Philip's piece is very personal, but it's just been a wonderful way of kind of getting into all sorts of questions that I hadn't really wanted to ask before. So it's been lovely.
Would you like to share some of those questions with us?
Well, no, I think mainly
one of them is this guy a writer?
No, I only asked that in one instance. No, I mostly questions about how did I get to be who I am? What brought me here? And what did I draw upon? And what has influenced me? And those sorts of things. And who were these people who came before me? And what's my relationship to them? That sort of thing. It's fascinating. And obviously, I don't have any answers to a lot of those things. But just seeing myself as part of a chain of humanity rather than some guy who popped up and is directing a play is really quite profound and really an amazing experience.
Just one little thing is that I know that DNA is about family and where we come from and what our blood and all of that is, and yet today in a modern culture we create our own families. Mm-hmm. There's the tribe is a normal. There's a need for tribe. Mm-hmm. And we create our tribes today. They're not based upon blood. They're not based upon affiliation of the kind that's through religion or whatever. But we now do it through affinity. Mm-hmm. And one of the greatest gifts for me in this process has been not so much about finding that out, although, because most of us already excavate that sort of work, but the connection between these other playwrights and Steve. And Steve took a swab too in all of this. And so this sort of family that's gotten created in the last year and a half is, incredibly valuable to me, and is an experience that I will never forget. And these are my friends for life, and many of them I've known, but many of them I'm getting to know and now feel very connected to. And I'm very, very grateful for Jamil to come up with the idea and for us being able to do this together.
Yeah.
I want to second what Shashir said, but also add that, this family came about because it was really encouraged the way this project was set up. I mean, I've been involved in 10-minute play evenings before, and usually you get the assignment, as it were. You send it in, and then maybe you show up for opening. And Jamil and Malik, who run Silk Road, really set up this structure where we came together to learn the results ourselves and to talk to the experts and the geneticists and the scientists. Then we came together again to hear the plays for the first time and talk about each other's plays. And this is the third time we were together now during rehearsal. And we've really had a wonderful bonding experience through that.
Mm-hmm. You look like a family.
I want to say to Steve's point about, we didn't want it to be like a festival of short plays. And had it turned out to be that, we would have been fine with it, but it is so much richer. I mean, there really is this conversation between the 7 pieces, and together a narrative arc, and I'm loving the interplay. I've had the benefit, unlike my fellow playwrights, of being at rehearsals up to this point, although they'll all be attending rehearsals this weekend, and just to see how the plays are speaking to each other, and the sort of the through lines and the threads that connect them is really exciting, because that is what we of course hoped for. But one never knows. We'd never commissioned a collection of short plays before. And so I was prepared. The fallback position was the festival, but it is much richer than that.
I can attest to the fact, kind of basically saying what everyone else is saying, but my piece really is sort of, it just came from this sort of collective chemistry. It's very organic. It's sort of, I didn't know how it fit in with everything, but it was simply spending time with the other artists that sort of informed whatever that it was that came out. And thus, we didn't need the interstitial material, which I had thought, as David did, and many other people, that we'd need, because they would just be separate, kind of disparate pieces, which was not the case.
I think there was a generosity of the collaborative spirit among this group, and I think that working together, being in the same room more than once, was a really wonderful experience for all of us.
Great. Let's open the conversation to the audience. Are there any questions?
My husband and I have both been involved in the geographic DNA. We went through National Geographic, and we did our paternal side and our maternal side. Even went all the way to California and did some relatives out there. I'm interested, because we've done this. What are some of your haplogroups? Can you share? Are you willing to share that with us?
Well, I'm an N9A.
That means a lot.
I'm a U7, so my maternal line, at least 50,000, at the level that we did the test, goes back to Ukraine, which oddly my mother's always said, and how she knows, I have no idea. And my father's line, because he did also do a swab for this project, is an N7, and quite predictably he traces back to Africa and then Pakistan, what's now Pakistan. So.
That Ukraine thing is because none of the Indians, they all want to be European, you see.
It's true.
Mine was, I think I was an N, I don't even remember now, but it was, I'm not an N, right?
No.
I can't be an N.
There were no N. No one here was the other N.
There's no N, I'm not an N, okay. It was Indo-European, which is like, that was whatever that one was, and there was.
Must have been a U.
Must have been a U.
Not
I was
U7.
a U. I was a U, and you are me.